Have you ever looked at someone else's life and suddenly felt like yours wasn't enough? More successful, more impressive, more meaningful? Maybe you've looked at someone else's achievements and wondered, what if I never become someone special? It's a thought most people rarely admit out loud, the fear of being ordinary. And surprisingly, it may be shaping far more of your life than you realize. And the strange part is, the real reason being ordinary feels so frightening has almost nothing to do with success. Imagine you're 80 years old. You're looking back at your life. Nothing went terribly wrong. You did what was expected. You got through the difficult days. But one question keeps echoing in your mind. Did my life actually matter? For many people, that possibility feels more terrifying than failure itself. Because deep down, people don't just want to live. They want their lives to mean something. And that's where the fear begins. Now, imagine it's 11 p.m. You're scrolling through social media. Someone your age launched a business. Someone bought their dream house. Someone else is traveling the world. A few minutes ago, your life felt perfectly fine. Now it suddenly feels smaller. Not because your life changed, but because your perspective did. Your brain doesn't just notice someone else's success. It quietly turns it into a measurement of your own worth. And that's the trap. You're comparing your everyday reality to someone else's highlight reel, until a dangerous belief starts forming. If I'm not extraordinary, maybe I'm not enough. But here's what most people get wrong. The fear of being ordinary isn't really about achievement. It's about significance. Most people aren't afraid of being average. They're afraid of what average seems to mean. Being forgotten, being overlooked, being invisible, being insignificant. Humans have a deep need to feel that their existence matters, and that's exactly why the fear of being ordinary feels so personal. But when society constantly celebrates the exceptional, it's easy to believe that value must be earned, that unless you're extraordinary, you don't matter. Here's the irony. The harder people chase an extraordinary life, the more ordinary they often feel. Because comparison has no finish line. There's always someone richer, smarter, more talented, more successful, which means if your self-worth depends on being exceptional, you'll never truly feel enough. It's like chasing the horizon. No matter how far you walk, it always stays out of reach. Now think about the people who impacted your life the most. A parent, a teacher, a friend. Chances are, most of them were never famous. Yet they changed your life, because meaning and impact aren't the same as recognition. Some of the most meaningful lives are lived quietly, and their impact lasts far longer than applause ever could. The next time you compare yourself to someone else, ask yourself, do I actually want their life? Or do I just want the feeling I imagine their life would give me? Because those are not the same thing. Maybe being ordinary was never the problem. Maybe the real problem is believing your worth depends on being extraordinary. Because a meaningful life isn't measured by how many people know your name. It's measured by the lives you touch, the relationships you build, and the meaning you create along the way. The truth is, some of the most extraordinary lives look completely ordinary from the outside, and perhaps that's what most people never realize. If you enjoy exploring the hidden psychology behind thoughts, emotions, and human behavior, subscribe to Mind Behind Choices, because understanding your mind is the first step toward making better choices